Is the American dream cracking right from under its own rooftops? In 2025, the U.S. housing market is no longer a game where everyone wins. From cities that were once migration and vacation hotspots to booming urban centers, all are experiencing a not-so-soft landing. Those who once believed the longer you hold, the more you profit, are now listing their homes for hundreds of thousands less than expected. Places once chased after are now facing panic sales, high inventory, or disappearing buyers. Where are you in this storm? Let's explore 10 cities plunging in 2025, but in a way you've never seen before. And in the end, you might ask yourself, if it's no longer a place to invest, then where is still worth living? 10. Phoenix, Arizona. The golden market is now just a memory. We bought this house for nearly $500,000, but now we'd sell it in a heartbeat if someone offered $400,000. No one's even come to see it in 3 weeks. That's the story of the Spencers, a retired couple who moved to Phoenix in 2021, now trapped in one of the harshest real estate downturns in America. Once the fastest-growing city in the Southwest, Phoenix has become the first symbol of the 2025 housing crisis. A market that once exploded with an 80% surge in home prices over just 3 years is now cooling at a devastating pace. And the most alarming sign that makes Phoenix dangerous for both buyers and sellers, it now has the highest listing withdrawal rate in the U.S. For every 100 homes listed, nearly 30 are pulled off the market because no one's buying. Prices aren't crashing as sharply as in Las Vegas, but the weakness in Phoenix is quiet and persistent. Median sale prices are flat or slightly down, while the average time to sell has stretched to 44 days, 16 days longer than last year. For a market that once sold homes within 48 hours, this is a frightening reversal. Buyers now hold all the power, negotiating hard, demanding price cuts, or simply walking away. Not to mention, housing supply is surging, especially in areas like Maricopa County. Inventory has reached 2.6 months of supply. Not yet a full-blown buyer's market, but enough to put enormous downward pressure on prices. And don't forget about the cost of living. Electricity bills in Phoenix can reach $400 per month during summer. The average home insurance premium is $2,187 per year, lower than Florida's, but still a heavy burden for those juggling mortgages at 7% interest rates. On average, a typical loan now eats up about $3,800 per month, a choking number for people who once believed real estate only goes up. Phoenix isn't collapsing like a bomb. It's bleeding slowly, and what hurts most is the waiting, soaked in desperation, from sellers who can't let go. What do you think? Does Phoenix still have a chance to recover? Or is this the first warning sign of a much larger housing crash ahead? Share your thoughts or personal stories in the comments below. And if this video feels like it's saying exactly what you needed to hear, hit subscribe so you won't miss the next 9 cities. 9. Boise, Idaho. Was the golden age just a collective dream? Can you believe it? Just 3 years ago, Boise was the most powerful migration magnet in the entire U.S. Yet today, many homes in the area are slashing prices and sitting unsold all summer long. What turned this dream paradise into a land of indifference? A story that's been spreading quickly online. A young family who moved from California to Boise, hoping for a fresh start. They bought a $530,000 home in a newly built subdivision in Ada County, right at the peak in 2022. Now they've quietly dropped the price to $445,000, but the house has been listed for 80 days without a single in-person showing. The husband posted a bitter line on Reddit. People came to Boise looking for a new beginning. But now we just want this nightmare to end. The Boise market is going through a deep freeze after years of explosive growth. In 2021, home prices jumped over 40%, but by 2025, that growth has nearly flatlined, up just 0.4% according to the latest data. This stagnation isn't just a number, it's a clear sign that the bubble of expectation has burst. Housing inventory in Ada County, the heart of the Treasure Valley, has hit a record high, with nearly 2,000 homes now on the market. Many neighborhoods have seen price cuts of $30,000 to $80,000, just hoping someone will pick up the phone. The imbalance of plenty of supply, cautious demand, has turned Boise from a market of bidding wars into a battlefield of exhausting negotiations. Fixed interest rates hovering around 6.5% now mean the average mortgage burden has climbed to nearly $3,600 per month, far beyond the reach of local incomes that were never particularly high. Those who once flocked here chasing the dream of ownership now only hope not to get stuck in a crisis that doesn't even have a name yet. Boise used to symbolize transformation, the perfect plan B after escaping from overpriced big cities. But perhaps it's time to ask ourselves, was that a leap forward or just a fleeting illusion? Have you ever thought about moving to Boise? Share your thoughts below. Do you still believe in this market, or have you seen the signs of decline all along? 8. Las Vegas, Nevada. When the city that never sleeps starts growing cold, can the lights that never go out hide a housing market that's falling into hibernation? When people think of Las Vegas, they think of glamour, energy, and endless opportunity. But 2025 has lifted the curtain. The housing market here is flooded, cold, and directionless. A retired couple from Seattle described selling their home in Summerlin as a game you can't win. Listed in June for $495,000, they hoped to close quickly, like 2 years ago. But after nearly 90 days, they'd received only a few messages, with not a single in-person showing. They've been forced to cut the price 3 times, down to $425,000, and still no offers. "We thought this was Vegas. Turns out it feels more like a cold desert," the husband said, disappointed. Their story is far from unique. According to Redfin, there are now over 13,500 homes for sale across the Las Vegas Valley, while the number of potential buyers hovers around 6,900. Supply is nearly double demand, up 97% year over year, turning what was once a seller's playground into a land of stressful negotiations. Median home prices have barely moved, sitting around $443,770, up just 1.3% from 2024. Luxury properties may still hold their value, but mid-range homes are clearly under pressure. And with over 6 months of inventory, this market has officially entered buyer-controlled territory. But the bigger concern lies beneath the surface of the economy. Las Vegas depends heavily on tourism, casinos, and entertainment, industries that are now stagnating. International visitors have declined, spending is weakening, and the construction sector is cutting jobs. At the same time, the extreme climate, record heat, and worsening drought is raising wildfire risks in surrounding areas. Las Vegas was once the place people came to start over, but now, many are quietly looking for a way out. A market that once burned red hot is now filled with shuttered homes, dusty listings, and anxious owners waiting for a call that never comes. Is Las Vegas just taking a break, or revealing its true face? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep following the next 7 cities in this downward spiral, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. 7. Cape Coral, the promised land, turns into a coastal investment trap. We came to Cape Coral for the sunshine, the sea, and the dream of a peaceful retirement. But now that house is draining our pension every month, and no one wants to buy it. That's the painful confession of Linda, 68, a widow living alone in a 3-bedroom home in southwest Cape Coral. After Hurricane Ian and 3 consecutive insurance hikes, the house she once believed was her safest asset has become a burden no one wants to take on. Cape Coral wasn't just an ideal retirement spot. It was once seen as a promised land for seniors, with prices cheaper than Naples or Miami. But by 2025, even the Wall Street Journal has ranked it the worst housing market in America. Home prices have fallen for 12 of the past 13 months, and more than 8% of homeowners are underwater, meaning their mortgage exceeds their property's current value. Part of the problem is that Cape Coral burned too bright, too fast, during the pandemic. Home prices surged nearly 75% in just the first 2 years of COVID. But that growth didn't come from stable demand. It came from the wave of people fleeing cities during lockdowns, artificially inflating prices. Now that life has returned to normal, those prices have nothing to stand on, and the crash was inevitable. Major storms, rising construction costs, and especially skyrocketing insurance are strangling this market. According to NAR, buyers in South Florida are now paying an extra $500 per month on average just for homeowners insurance, not including taxes or maintenance fees. With those expenses, purchasing power has shrunk dramatically, leaving the market sluggish and oversupplied. Sellers, meanwhile, are sitting on a powder keg. Many have been forced to slash 30–40% off their asking prices, and some homes have sold for as little as 60% of their pre-hurricane value. The sense of loss and disillusionment hangs over the community, especially among those aged 50+ who poured their entire retirement savings into these once-dream seaside homes. Cape Coral is no longer an invitation. It's a warning to anyone who still believes coastal property is always a safe investment. If it were you, would you cut your losses and leave, or wait and hope for a recovery? Share your honest thoughts below. You're not alone in this harsh game. 6. Palm Springs, California. From million-dollar Coachella to a frozen market under the heat. In June 2025, an unprecedented event occurred. Housing inventory in Palm Springs soared to 754 homes, the highest level in years, according to local reports. And in what's expected to be California's hottest summer on record, the housing market here is cooling by the day. Palm Springs, the legendary Coachella Valley, was once a retirement paradise and dream destination for tens of thousands of Americans. Homes along golf courses and villas with private pools used to be so coveted they sold through overnight bidding wars. But now, those once sold-out properties are sitting still, silent, waiting, and starved for buyers. Home prices are losing rhythm. Detached houses, once the most desirable, have dropped 3.1% year over year, now averaging around $147,000. Meanwhile, condos and townhomes are up slightly, but that's actually a sign of a split market, no longer rising in unison like during the COVID boom. Buyers, especially those aged 50+, are becoming cautious. With interest rates above 6%, rising insurance costs, and growing fears of extreme heat waves and wildfires, every home buying decision now comes with heavy hesitation. The average time to sell has stretched to 52 days per listing, and only 11% of sales close at or above the asking price. Proof that bargaining power has clearly shifted to buyers. The once vibrant atmosphere now exists only in tourist brochures, while sellers grow increasingly anxious. Many homes have undergone multiple price cuts or been delisted altogether after failing to attract genuine interest. A couple from Illinois, Harold and June, once bet $700,000 on a west-facing home in Palm Desert at the end of 2022. Now, they're selling at a nearly $90,000 loss just to get out. "We came here looking for sunshine and health," Harold told a local paper. "But all we found were higher insurance bills and a house nobody wants to see." Palm Springs is entering an inevitable correction, because every boom has its price. For those over 50, this is no longer a sure-win place to retire or invest. Buying too quickly here might mean betting on a market that's losing altitude without a parachute. Do you think markets like Palm Springs will recover in 2026? Or is this the beginning of a silent breakup for those who bought at the peak? Share your thoughts in the comments, or your own story if you've ever considered buying here. 5. Naples, Florida. A paradise for the wealthy, or a luxury trap in the storm? Donna, 67, left Chicago after her husband passed away from a stroke. With the money from selling their old home, she chose Naples, what she called the paradise of sunshine and tax relief. The $1.3 million golf course home she bought in early 2023 was meant to be her final reward in life. But now, Donna is thinking of selling. Not because she doesn't love it, but because the cost of living, skyrocketing insurance, and the fear of extreme weather have been keeping her up at night. Naples remains the most prestigious high-end market on Florida's west coast. According to Fox Business, the median home price in Naples is now almost double that of nearby Cape Coral. Areas like Port Royal, Old Naples, and Pelican Bay still attract the ultra-wealthy, mostly from New York, Illinois, and California. Million-dollar transactions are still happening regularly, especially in fall 2025, when the Gulf Coast market shows slight signs of recovery. But don't let those glittering numbers fool you. Beneath the surface, hidden costs are eating away at homeowners' wallets. Insurance costs have jumped an average of $500 per month, according to the National Association of Realtors, and for beachfront properties, that number can exceed $1,000. 30-year mortgage rates remain above 6%, making borrowing far less appealing than in the easy money era of 2021. Wealthy buyers are still coming, but the market is growing more selective, especially among those aged 50-plus, living on pensions or fixed savings. Inventory in Naples is no longer as tight as it was in 2022, but it's still not enough to give buyers full negotiating power. Beautiful homes in prime locations still sell quickly, often within just a few weeks. Yet psychological pressure is mounting. Everyone has seen what's happening in Cape Coral, Miami, or Fort Myers, and many fear that Naples is merely delaying the pain. Naples isn't collapsing, but could it be entering a phase of quiet decline? For those over 50, it may still be a safe haven, but it's no longer cheap, and it's certainly not immune to market shocks. Do you think Naples can maintain its long-standing luxury status? Or is it just enjoying the afterglow of an old cycle? Share your thoughts in the comments, or your own story if you've ever considered Naples as a place to settle down. 4. Dallas. The Texas dream slows down amid the interest rate storm. In Dallas, nearly two-thirds of homes sold in Q2 2025 closed below their asking price. A once red-hot market is cooling, but no one wants to admit it. The Dallas-Fort Worth region was once the symbol of sustainable growth, a magnet for thousands of middle-aged families seeking retirement, investment, or stability. But now, the numbers tell a very different story. According to M&D Real Estate, housing supply across DFW has surged 53% above normal levels, turning a once inventory-starved market into one of the most oversupplied in America. In May 2025 alone, total inventory reached 123,000 homes, and nearly 66% of all sales were below list price. A clear sign that buyers now hold all the leverage. Home prices? The mid-range segment, traditionally favored by 50-plus families relocating from other states, is down about 3 to 3.3%. In Collin County, once one of the fastest rising areas during the pandemic, prices have fallen nearly 3.7%, and average selling time has surged 65%, now reaching 28 days. Only the ultra-luxury segment is holding steady, supported by high-net-worth buyers less affected by interest rates. The bigger problem lies in psychology. With 30-year fixed rates still hovering around 6%, purchasing power is falling, especially among those over 50, living on stable retirement incomes but unwilling to take new financial risks. Meanwhile, many small investors are being forced to sell early as other investment channels tighten. Dallas may not have hurricanes, but it's battling a storm of interest rates. This shift has flipped the market from a seller's playground to its opposite, a world where buyers can negotiate, delay, and pick carefully, while sellers lose the pride they once had in 2022. What do you think is driving the Dallas market's sharp swings? Is this a buying opportunity or a warning sign to get out while you can? Leave your thoughts below, especially if you live in Texas or have ever considered moving here. 3. Bakersfield. The real cost of a market that only seems cheap. Does affordable really mean safe? You might think that finding a low-cost market like Bakersfield in California is a golden opportunity. But 2025 is proving that opportunity may be turning into a warning. A family from Sacramento, Tom and Linda, bought a home for about $420,000 in Bakersfield at the start of 2023, hoping for a stable retirement life. They chose the area because it was still below the California price threshold and seemed like a favorable environment. Now, just 2 years later, they find themselves hesitating to sell because we bought in, but we're not sure there's any gain to be made. We don't regret moving here. We love the place, but we regret thinking prices would rise faster, Linda shared. Bakersfield was once considered a cool market within California, cheaper than the coastal regions, yet full of growth potential. According to the latest data from Zillow, the median home price in Bakersfield is about $393,762, up only 0.6% year over year. Meanwhile, Rocket Homes reports a median price of $392,480, an increase of about plus 3.3% compared to last year. What's particularly noteworthy is that supply is starting to climb. According to Rocket Homes, a large number of listings are coming online, but buyers aren't rushing in. Sales are slowing, inventory is rising, clear signs that a buyer's market is beginning to take shape. Another report notes that in September 2025, 42.7% of homes sold below their asking price, meaning nearly half of all deals closed at a loss or under expectation. At the same time, the average time on market is lengthening, about 44 days before a home sells, Zillow, August 2025. While this isn't yet a full-scale price crash, for people aged 50 and above who buy homes not just to live in but to protect their assets, this is a signal you shouldn't ignore. Bakersfield still holds major advantages: lower prices than most of California, a developing environment, and room for growth. But the price of that advantage is rising risk, increasing supply, higher ownership costs, and weaker buying power due to elevated interest rates. If you're buying to retire, the equation of staying long-term, maintaining costs, and expecting appreciation is becoming more complicated than ever. Is Bakersfield the last opportunity in California, or a market you should watch and wait more carefully? Share your thoughts or personal experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. 2. Tampa Bay. Is the sunshine dream fading in a fog of financial strain? My brother moved his whole family to Tampa in 2021, thinking it was the perfect place for a fresh start. But now, he's stuck in a house worth less than the mortgage he owes. Many once believed Tampa Bay was the promised land for America's middle class. Sunlit homes along the bay, more affordable than Miami, and a tropical coastal lifestyle that seemed like the perfect formula. But by 2025, that formula is breaking apart as home prices slide and market sentiment turns more cautious than ever. According to Zillow, home prices in Tampa have fallen 5.4% year over year, with areas like St. Petersburg and Clearwater in Pinellas County plunging even deeper, down 12.3%. Meanwhile, central Tampa, Hillsborough County, has held up slightly better, but still shows a decline of around 2.4%. It's a clear sign of market polarization and mounting pressure on the affordable housing segment. Housing inventory is also steadily increasing, 15 to 20% depending on the area, according to Tampa team. The more people sell, the harder it becomes to maintain prices. With 30-year mortgage rates still hovering around 6.7%, buyers are growing more hesitant. Homes are staying on the market longer. Many sit unsold for weeks, even ignored entirely unless sellers agree to major price cuts. And that's not even counting the risks from hurricanes and insurance. Hurricane Helene recently dealt a heavy psychological blow to buyers. According to NAR, average home insurance premiums in South Florida have risen about $500 per month, causing numerous deals to collapse at the last minute as buyers' budgets blew past their loan limits. Tampa Bay now stands at a crossroads, still attractive to some, but a growing financial risk for anyone who doesn't calculate carefully. What do you think? Is Tampa still the promised land, or is it time for buyers to change their strategy? Comment below and share your insights with the community. 1. Sedona. The Red Rock paradise is cooling off. Are you still willing to pay nearly $1 million for a place that once boomed, mainly because of its scenery? Sedona, the city of red rocks, yoga retreats, and luxury retirement dreams, is entering a normalization phase after years of rapid growth. The median home price has dipped slightly to around $899,000. Inventory is up 17%, and the average time to sell has shortened to 62 days. Not because demand is strong, but because sellers are being forced to become more flexible. The truth is, inventory has climbed to nearly 7 months, shifting Sedona into a buyer's market. Beautiful homes with fair prices still sell quickly, but those holding on to 2022 peak prices are now facing a new reality. Buyers are no longer competing. High interest rates are still holding back many deals, and Sedona, once the premium dream destination for the 50-plus community, is now giving way to a mindset of caution and careful consideration. Can breathtaking scenery still keep buyers interested if the prices don't make sense? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The market is changing, and so must the dream. The cities that once led the way may now be falling behind, but it's precisely at this moment that both opportunity and risk become clearest. And you? Are you watching, acting, or waiting? Leave a comment, because your perspective might just be the wake-up call someone else needs.